LaidbackMarco, and I'm really frustrated with this camera. Well, I hope I got you there. It's a little editing magic. Um, Actually, I can't afford to do something like this. If there's a chance of salvaging this camera, I'll definitely take the shot. Maybe I'll take it to a camera repair center. But I'm really frustrated with this camera. It's the A7 III. And it's not really the camera's fault. Of course, I do have my gripes with the camera, but it's really my fault because I ended up, I was traveling with I was traveling with a can of Mountain Dew and it exploded in my camera bag. And now the camera's not working correctly with the lenses. So I'm not sure if this the lenses or the camera itself, but it's not functioning correctly. And it's really disappointing because next week I actually have a car event I'm wanting to go to and film. Um, and my whole life I've really wanted to be a filmmaker, and I feel like right when I have the motivation to do something, I buy a gimbal. This happens. It was really really demoralizing, and I just wanted to give up and quit. It's one of those things where it feels like I'm already down and life just kicks you again. So it's been a while since I've made a YouTube channel on this account, and thank you for following me on this account if you do. But I had really wanted to start making more videos, and like I said, I was feeling really motivated, and this happens to me, and I really just wanted to hang up and quit. But I didn't do that for one reason, because I have one of these, and although I'd like to make YouTube films and work on film sets and use the latest cameras and the lenses and try out all the new things, the reality of the situation is I just can't afford it. But I already have one of these, and I was wanting to see what I could do with one of these, because your equipment can quit on you, but I don't want to quit on myself. If that makes sense. And this isn't some cheesy motivational thing. So I'm going to roll a short film that I made today with my smartphone, and then we can get back and talk to business over a beer. Some of you may be wondering, damn, he's cracking a beer just to talk to a YouTube video, just to speak to a camera in his bedroom, because realistically, the only people that watch my videos are, I can count it on one hand. It's Misha, Matt, thank you, Matt, my aunt, and my mom. So those are like the 4 people that actually watch my videos. Sometimes Johnny, and sometimes some of my cousins and things like that. But we're gonna crack this beer. Not because we're an alcoholic. It's actually much worse than that. We're League of Legends players. So, man, if it's not one thing, it's another. So, um, and the reason sometimes I crack beers is that oh god, this is gonna really make me sound like an alcoholic, but it does make you feel warm and fuzzy. Um, Not something that I do often. I actually don't drink very often because I have a worse addiction, like I said, League of Legends. But it helps me talk to the camera a lot more and helps me warm up to it a bit. Um, so anyway, where we last left off, I was in November saying wanted to make a video a week, and that didn't really happen. Well, lately I've been making more and more videos in the short form and seeing how that plays out. And I think where I want to take this video, and this is will just be a talking head kind of podcast style videos, just kind of frustrations with things. And um, I think frustrations with life itself is just a reoccurring theme in my channel. But I really want to be authentic, and I feel like that's something that's really hard to find nowadays. I don't know, maybe people in their exciting vlogging YouTube channels are actually having fun, but the reality is I'm not having fun with life. I'm just very frustrated, and nothing seems to work out. Nothing I throw at the wall seems to work out. I have a bunch of skills that are kind of useless nowadays, thanks to AI. Or um, I really just think, what's the point? And there are some days where I'm standing in front of the train, and I'm just like, what if I just stepped out? And that's something I'm smiling about, but it's like, what if I just stepped out? It's like, what do I have to look forward to? I can't afford a house. I can barely afford to keep the cars I have running. Um, I can't even afford to replace my camera, something I use to make filmmaking equipment. And in the careers I want to get into, it doesn't seem anyone wants to hire me. So what's the point? And I have this big doomsday doomer mentality, and I'm trying to think of how I can claw out of it. Right? How do I build the skills necessary to leave this life of struggle behind? Of course, I'm also trying to be thankful for what I do have. I have this apartment, yay. I do have some cars that are barely running, yay. It's funny that I talk to people that do follow my content, and there some people in America that are like, everyone just glazes Japan around the world. And Japan's great, don't get me wrong, but we have problems here too. And one of those problems is our money is literally worth nothing, and um, our wages haven't gone up in like 25 years. But I love it here. Um, but I realize if I move home, I'll have the support network of one, my parents, and my old boss. One of the people that actually believed in me and my skill uh, when I first left college. It was one of the first people that hired me. Would said, "Hey, there's a position here waiting for you," um, and that's really hard to say no to. Um, One, because I believe there's career growth back there. Two, I miss my family dearly. Three, Japan will always be here, and four, it's always nice to have someone support you and say that, hey, you can do it, and you're good at this. Um, it's not like I need external validation, but everyone wants to feel like their work is being appreciated, I guess. Um, and I just kind of feel stunted. Um, but what do I get better at? There's so many areas of life. It's like, well, should I get better at organizing? Should I get better at learning how to learn? I need to spend time learning Japanese. There's just so much stuff to do, and then it really just makes me want to shut down because I don't see anything working. Um, and then when I do get the motivation to put a bunch of songs out, or a bunch of videos out, it just doesn't get traction. It's just so demotivating. Um, and of course, we're online. We see people. I really love Asmongold. Don't get me wrong, but the little part of you is like just jealous, right? He gets to show his personality online. People react to it, and he is really funny, to be fair. Um, but he gets to sit in his house and make content, and it's appreciated. It's seen. But I guess that's something that everyone wants, is to be seen. Um, anyway, I have to properly structure this video. So what are we going to talk about? Um, so I think there's a maybe let's narrow it down to three things. Like, I did think about this video before, but I wanted to kind of just have this raw reaction, even though these kind of YouTube videos don't get many views. And I'm aware of that. I'm aware that it doesn't get, but it really helps me to organize my thoughts. Just like my blog, which, hey, I'm learning a little bit about SEO. We're number 3 if you search for laid back lifestyle. I'm not sure why you would do that. Or if you Google search how to become a tour guide in Japan, my website comes up. So I'm doing something right. But the thing is, SEO is dying because of AI. So it's yay. I don't know. We're learning. So the first thing I want to do is just to catch you up with my life if you do follow it. Like I said, I've been working as a tour guide just over a year now. It's just over a year and a couple months at this point. I've been a tour guide, and it's really helped me to talk to people and to talk to cameras. So talking to the camera this naturally was actually really awkward for me. You can see it in a lot of my old videos, and even throughout this video, my pacing is getting much better because I think I did the autistic nervous. I'm gonna spit a bunch of words out. But I've been working as a tour guide, and it's helped me to learn about Japan. I've learned a ton about Japan, public speaking, learned a lot about that, Japanese culture. Uh, so there's a bunch of skills I've taken from being a tour guide, and while being a tour guide, I've also worked on making these videos better and actually learning the social part of social media. Um, and that's the part that I don't understand. I just don't get people. I feel so alone on a day-to-day basis. Um, I feel like one of the only people that understands me is a guy I play video games with on a day-to-day basis. He's my best friend, Minnie. And if it weren't for League of Legends and if it weren't for gaming, I would just feel so isolated. Um, and I just don't understand. I think, like today, you saw me go out with my friends. If you did actually watch that little intro video, probably montage, because I like to edit in the style of Edgar Wright. You saw me with friends, but I always feel so awkward in those groups, and I really only felt like I was there because my cousin's a really good people person, and um, I'm associated with him. But yeah, I've been living life as a tour guide, and um, even though I talk to people on a day-to-day basis, I still just feel so alone in the world. And I can't describe why, but there's just a part of me who feels so separate, just a touch separated from everyone. Like everyone's on a radio channel, and I'm on a slightly different one, getting different messages. And maybe a part of that is because I'm in Japan, and Japanese culture is just so much different than ours. Um, but yeah, it's interesting because people at home see my life and they think it's, oh, so amazing, and it's so fun. And don't get me wrong, there's parts of it that are. Um, but I look over it to my friends and family and people in America, and that are so much further in their career, and life building skills, things like building credit, buying houses, um, becoming financially stable, getting stable careers. It's just so much stuff that I've missed just from coming here, and I feel so behind. And I feel like now I'm at the age, I just turned 30. No one wants to help you get your life on track anymore. Like, you should have figured it out. Um, but I haven't, and I feel so lost, and that makes me want to just quit. I get the Zoomer mentality. I just get the why even try, if no one's willing to help you. Nothing, no one's gonna do anything for you. You kind of have to do it for yourself. Like I said, I feel so lost doing. There's no career coach here. There's no. I enter a company and there's someone creative above me telling me, hey, these are the steps you need to make to make your life better. It's all figuring it out yourself. And with the internet, there's so much information overload. One podcast tells you to do this, another book tells you to do that. You watch a YouTube video, it tells you to do X, Y, and Z, and you try all of it, and you can't do it. You can't do it. You know, you get burnt out, and you get depressed, and that's what's happened to me. But I've also learned, um, just recently, actually, in my life as a tour guide, that sometimes things don't work out the way you had planned, and that's okay. So one of the things that's I get a lot of cognitive dissonance from is on tour. My guests tell me, "Hey, you're great." I show them their art. "Hey, your art's great." Oh, some people have listened to my music, and some people listen to my old music and say, "This is great." I mean, it's all this, "Hey, you're awesome, you're awesome," but I don't feel awesome. My life isn't in an awesome place. I live as much as I like this apartment. My neighbors probably hate me because I'm being really loud right now. It's a tiny apartment that I have to keep to myself, which, yay, it makes me learn how to make efficient use of space. Actually, I just organized my computer desk behind me. I'm really proud about that. Um, and I think you have to make the efficient use of space, but you get all these people telling you you're great and your ideas are great. One of my guests was a high up in the corporate field, and I told her my idea for an app and a car sales platform, and also using social media to push and sell cars correctly. Um, Not correctly, but it's my idea for what correct is. And she's like, "Wow, this is a really good idea. You should work on it." Okay, okay, let's find the time to do that. I don't know. And it's so frustrating because there's no one around my age. I have people around my age in my tour groups, or my tour guides, but I never meet with them. I meet with them like once every 3 months, maybe. And all my friends are more advanced in their careers. And every time I come to them with problems, real problems here, um, like my salary, or I'm stuck in my career, they're like, "Oh, it'll be fine." But they grew up in a different time period than me. They have no idea what it'll be like. It's not fine. It's easy for them to say it's fine, right? They live in nice apartments. They don't have to worry about something like, if their camera breaks, they just buy another one. I can't do that. I'm lucky I have this old ass Canon that I'm using, and I've gotten better at using cameras, but I'm lucky that I have that. Otherwise, I'd be talking into a webcam or a cell phone, which is not bad, but it's not ideal. Especially when I feel like the world we live in is like League of Legends, which sounds crazy, but hear me out. League of Legends is a win more game. What do I mean by win more? Well, when you kill your lane opponent, not only do you get more gold than them, they're missing experience, and you buy better items. And guess what? The next time you guys fight, who's going to win? The guy with 25 attack damage, or the person with 5 attack damage and is a level down? So, in that sense, it's life is a lot like that. So, a YouTuber who gets some traction is able to buy better cameras and equipment and editors and spend more time on his content, or invest in a learning course. And people like me who don't get traction, and we're entering what's called a gig economy, right? So no one corporation wants to train somebody up. You have to learn it by yourself. And corporations don't want to hire someone long term because that means insurance costs. Um, it also means training, like the social contract that we've had with the world just not working nowadays. So our job stability isn't there, or it's just a mess, and I don't know how to fix it, and I feel powerless to fix it. And realistically, what can I do? I can rant into a Canon 80D, and 4 people will watch this, but who gives a fuck at the end of the day, really? So yeah, it's a cognitive dissonance to feel like people are telling you things are awesome when they aren't. And don't get me wrong, things are better than where they were last year. I, I I've said this multiple times, but I like to remind people. I wrote this in my blog. Uh, when I left my last job, it was one of the hardest decisions I made. And I left because of my values. I felt that there was inequality there. I spoke up against the inequality. Nothing was done. Nothing was going to get done. So I said, I'm packing my bags and I'm leaving. It's much easier to say I'm going to stand up for inequality than to actually do it, right? Um, but when I left that job, I was actually homeless and I was getting ready to live out of my 180SX. And actually, there's a Japanese YouTuber who lives out of a cave van. But as a foreigner in Japan, you need a visa, right? So you have to get a job. So you're on a strict timer to get a job. And I don't know, I just feel so trapped here, even though I like my job. I feel like there's not a lot of upward mobility. So you got to do it yourself nowadays, right? You got to do a podcast. You got to get a YouTube channel. You got to sell your own products. You got to do everything under the sun. And while you're doing that, you have to go onto LinkedIn and type to a bunch of people, "Hey, I'm doing this, and this," in the most cringe corporate speak that I use ChatGPT to write because I can't be bothered to sound that cringe. But people actually believe like that and they talk like that on that platform. It's the craziest platform. Um, anyway, yeah, so that's where I am with my job, and that's where I've been up to now. Um, it's weird because as a tour guide, we have busy, 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 and then idle time. And then in my idle time, I just don't really want to do anything or can't afford to do anything. So I'm gonna have to learn how to make money or something. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And in this part of the video is just where have I been for the past couple of months. Two, I want to talk about an action plan and actually do it. So one of the things that's important in our world moving forward is computers. So I think learning how computers work is very essential to climbing anywhere in the future. I hope, um, or teaching people the skills I have, and also creating content about trying to learn new skills. Um, and I was gonna make the joke: those who can't do teach. So I do have a bunch of weird skills, and I think with my combination of weird skills, I can teach things in interesting ways. So like my music production skills, a lot of people wonder how to make music, and sometimes people who are good at music production aren't good at teaching it. And because I'm pretty average at music production, and I'm average at making videos, I feel like I could make a decent decent entertaining video explaining how to do certain things in music programs. Um, yeah, so I want to start learning more skills. I feel like I have to organize my life moving forward. That'll be step one. Step one is to organize my life. Where am I at now? Where do I want to go? How do I get there? And then just start taking action. Just start making videos, right? Just start taking a step on that journey. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Just wanted to get that off my chest. I promise that I'll have more structured videos maybe in the future and more scripted videos, but this is the raw and real channel. It's my channel. Do what I want. All right. Peace.